this hip will start to come in. And I'll only see it on maybe 1 or 2 steps, then it'll be gone, because both of them will be in. Does that make sense? So it might be a hard spot. But the other thing that's a lot easier, and actually does occur with me, I know from people assessing me, is this upper body issue again, which you guys found as a cheat over there with one of you. I think Danny may be holding herself one side. Can't remember, you came over to me. But let's say my right hip doesn't like abducting, but I'm quite good at imagining train tracks, so I'm quite good at keeping my feet forcefully held out. My body is even better at saying, well, if that's what you're going to do, I need to find another way of compensating so you don't overload your adductors. So what might I do with my upper body? See what happened to that hip? Now this hip is relatively neutral in the frontal plane because my upper body is being bullied by my hips. My hips are saying, I'm not giving you this abduction. What I'm going to do is make you laterally flex away from this side, so my lumbar spine and thoracic's being stuck over here instead. Yeah, so I might walk like this without even knowing it. Yep. So that would be an indication that this hip is bailing out of abduction. So look for that. You know your other abduction test? So you're looking for this. Is really key, definitely on all of these, to ask your client how they're feeling. Feedback from your client, what are you feeling, is really important. And whatever they're feeling is what they're feeling. Whatever you think they should be feeling is irrelevant. What they're feeling is the truth. You then have to pick apart why they think that, why they're feeling that. Yep. So they might go this way and just say, I'm feeling it all in the trunk and in there. And you say, well, why are those two areas decelerating more than just a general feeling of movement? Yeah. Those are the areas doing most of the deceleration. But when I go this way and I don't feel it, that's telling us there's an asymmetry. One side screams, the other side doesn't. Do you see what I mean? So those are the sorts of things we're looking at. How can I turn this into more of a balance reach type assessment?
One leg.
One leg. So I'm going to assess this hip. Yep. What am I going to do?
The other way.
Go that way? Yep. What if I have shoulder impingement so I can't use my arms?
Do that.
Could do it now, just shoulder driver, couldn't I? Well, what if it hurts my lower back? So if I do that, it's all trunk anyway.
Reach your foot out.
Perfect. Just raise that instead. Yeah. Actually becomes abduction for both to a point. Then when I counterbalance, this hip doesn't need to abduct anymore, but this has to counterbalance my upper body. You can see how this is all upper body abduction. It's all hip abduction, but it's coming from counterbalancing this long lever. Make sense? So there's many ways of changing it and tweaking it around.
Would you do an objective test against the mirror to test the reach towards the mirror?
You can do. I've sometimes used how far up this leg can get
Okay.
on something to see how far they can go there, then turning around and seeing this.
Yeah.
You can say, okay, well, there's definitely a distance problem there. But it's slightly harder to test it leaning